Why don't we talk about this year's gathering?
Very excited about this year. Yeah, we're expecting 1,500 business leaders. There'll be over 3 days, 65 sessions, 4 stages. Really excited about the crew that's coming out. Of course, we also host the Brand Hall of Fame at the gathering every year, and the Brand Hall of Fame we induct for 5 different brands every year. So this year, our brands are. This is like drum roll, please. You guys are getting the inside.
Oh, wow. You're good at that.
The brands are Dove,
Mm.
Heinz,
Cool.
Fender, and
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
and Amex.
Cool.
So it's going to be amazing. Really, really excited for
What was that second
oh,
one?
and Gatorade as well.
Fender.
So
Gatorade.
Dove,
Gotcha.
Heinz, Fender, Amex, and Gatorade.
Oh, nice. Okay,
So it's going
cool.
to be an amazing crew, and we have the CMOs coming out from all those organizations. So they'll have lots to share. They spill in their playbook of
Yeah.
what it takes to build a brand to last. And the gala is where we induct those brands into the Brand Hall of Fame, which is amazing. We've got a partnership with the Effies this year. So as well, the Effies finalists will be revealed at the gathering as well. So that's another really exciting partnership. And, I think it's great that we can be a space to pause and celebrate the work. And,
Yeah.
I think so many of us were always, it's like, the perpetual machine of like, there's
Yeah.
Yeah.
more to do. And the gathering at our core, it's always really been about celebration of these brands. And so it's cool to see the Effies come in as well. And I'm excited that they're going to be celebrating these brands inside the gathering this year too. So
I'm excited about the Effie's part, especially too. I mean, I'm huge into all the effectiveness stuff and so I'm fascinated by that and that partnership and excited to see that there. But you mentioned a little bit about like just the gathering itself and sort of the way it's always been around centered around getting people together and stuff. Can you tell us a bit more just about the origin story of the gathering?
yeah, absolutely. So the gathering was founded by Ryan Gill and Chris Nealand, who are also the founders of Cult Agency. And if you flash back to 2013, Ryan was at South by Southwest, and he was inspired by the community there, and thought, wow, like we should create something like this, a place to really bring people together, a place to belong, a place to swap stories, and to really learn from each other. And so they created the first gathering in 2014. And it was intended at the beginning to be almost a business development play. Like, how can we get people in the room? And we all need great opportunities to build relationships. And so they started doing that. And then they put invitations out. And the people that were showing up, I mean, Dana White was at the first gathering in 2014.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. Like, how do we get Dana White here? And he said yes, he came. And, he ended up staying the full 3 days, not just getting off stage and leaving, because he felt immersed and connected and inspired
Cool.
as well. And, I think that really just speaks to the core of the gathering. It is this place for connection. It's this place where you can take, like, the mountains help us all take our guard down a little bit. And,
Hmm.
so there was definitely that vibe. The DNA of the event has never been a conference that is like pitch slapping you and boring slides, and always, it's always been an experience. And so, that original business development mindset was quickly, Chris, as I hear it, Chris and Ryan were like, stand down. We're not doing any business development here. They could tell that there was something really, really special. And so they wanted to pull on that thread, and it's continued to grow from there. So that was 2014. And I think there was 200 people there. I was there in one of the early years. So I've been every year, and it's been
Were
cool to see
you
it grow
there as a member of the gathering, or were you there?
as an attendee. So
Really?
yeah, back one of the team members at the time, I had a media publication, and I traded a page in my magazine for a ticket.
Oh, no way.
And so I attended, and I remember him selling it to me, and it was so elusive, and so he's like, "Come to the cult gathering," and I'm like, "What?" And yeah, he's like, yeah, there'll be fire pit conversations and it's at the Fairmont. And like, it was so random and I had no idea, but I was, down to say yes. And I went and every year, it was such a career booster and it was an amazing connector of, amazing people that became, business associates, peers, mentors, the Rolodex that gets created from it, the quality of people that come. It's just it year after year always blew my mind. So
Hmm.
It's
I
amazing.
was
Yeah.
at, I don't know if it was the 2014, but 2015 anyway, with Sport Check at the time. But one of the early ones, and I've been a few times since, it's pretty amazing just the evolution of the event itself. And physically, it's still occupying the same space at the Banff Springs, but I mean the production value you've put into this show is unbelievable.
mhm.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, and we really take pride in that. Like this is it's a world-class event, and to attract world-class speakers and world-class brands, you want to create a stage that they're proud to be on. And I think that experiential component of the event is so important, and it's really why we call ourselves a brand festival, not a conference, because the investment in production and every dollar we make, we put back into the guest experience because it provides this like multi-sensory emotional journey for people. And I believe when they feel something, that's when they will, that's what sparks change. That's what sparks a new idea. That's what sparks people actually going back and taking action in their life, their business, their leadership. So it's important. You could have the exact same conversation in a room with rows of uncomfortable chairs and glaring fluorescent lights, and it's not going to hit quite the same as when you have a 200-foot screen, a Vegas style room, and all of this like immersed in all of the sound and experience that we really do. So yeah, we take a lot of pride in our production.
Hmm. Shows.
Yeah. Yeah. From kind of like from a behind the scenes side of things. I remember in 2014, like just the promotion for the gathering, there was like this video. I think it was done by I don't know if they still exist in Calgary, but they were the Deluxe Design Group.
Mm.
And the video was like I thought I was about to go into like an eyes wide shut situation. But then like later on in the video, it reveals that it's not. How and now I haven't seen much of that type of promotion because I feel like you don't really need that much of that promotion anymore because of the legacy that you've folks have left. So how would you say have has the gathering kind of evolved? I guess to kind of keep that spirit of what the gathering is for your attendees.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at the core of the gathering, the conversations have always been, what does it take to build a brand to last? And we've invited many legacy brands and many legacy brand leaders over the years to come and, peel back the curtains and, share their playbook for navigating challenging times, for, overcoming and enduring decades and, many, many years, how to think differently and outside the box, and take us into the thinking behind their campaigns or building teams, et cetera. And so we've sort of started to build around that brand excellence piece, and now started to evolve and add in different layers of conversations, because brand has many layers. Brand is it includes your team, your culture, your purpose. Like there's so much more to it. And so we wanted to create a bit of a choose your own adventure experience that had a more holistic conversations around brand, around business, and around leadership. So how we've evolved is that brand excellence piece will always remain. And then we've built other content tracks, and the content tracks really help us to solve challenges that leaders are experiencing every day, right? So some of those content tracks are Create the Future, which is really chatting through like the conversations around the future of work, around attention, AI, creators, the creator economy. And then we have culture and sports. And these conversations are around community, fandom, belonging. And then, of course, what's the zeitgeist of the moment? And lastly, human performance. And you can't build a brand to last if you are building from an empty tank. So there's a lot of conversations around leadership, holistic wellness. This is sort of the intersection between leadership and well-being. So sustainable performance. Last year was the first year that we started to introduce these different conversations and like really identifying what are the conversations that our attendees need to hear. And this year we've really honed in and really defined them. So we'll have 4 concurrent conversations happening at once. And that will really allow people to, pick and choose their own adventure. If someone's just the brand nerd and wants to sit in the front seat on the main stage and see all our legacy brands speak to their brand stories, they can absolutely do that. If someone is really interested in the creator track and just wants to focus on attention and AI and creators, you can absolutely do that. You want to meet the athletes and hang out with, the CMOs of the NFL, you can do that. And if you want to build a more sustainable way of leading, you can dip into the human performance track as much as you want. So, so that's kind of where we started and where we built on what we're building on. And over the next 3 years, we really hope to start to expand our footprint outside of just the Fairmont. I sort of see the next 3 years, the next 3-year growth plan is starting to take over more and more of Banff. This year, we are doing our first sort of house, and you guys know, being at Cannes, how big, the fringe part of the festival is, right? It's like you go to the other content house or the parties and things like that. And so, this is our first year. We're calling it Minimum Viable Festival. So our VF. So you'll start to feel this, festival vibe by going to our tracks down in Banff. We'll also have live comedy, live music, some more entertainment, supper clubs and experiences that are happening downtown Banff. So you'll be able to participate in that, and then other experiences that are taking place outside of the Fairmont as well. You can go up the gondola for golden hour.
Cool.
Some of the most beautiful sights and sounds. We have a creator specific program. So we're really opening the doors to anyone that considers themselves a creator or aspires to be, so that they can participate in a really accessible and approachable way. So we're excited about that. And then as the years go on, we imagine our footprint getting bigger and bigger, and there's space for partners to come in and join us and start to build on the amazing opportunities that there are in Banff town. Many great hotels. We work with Pursuit, who's been a great partner of ours, and Banff Lake Louise Tourism. Great venues, great place for hosting, and brands that are thinking about how can we show up in a really meaningful way. So we're excited to build that.
Super cool. If you don't mind, I want to nerd out a little bit more on just the mechanics of running an event.
Yes.
There's so many things, because now I'm doing it more frequently with the Calgary Marketing Association. I'm so much more interested in what it takes to put on an event, what it takes to run events. One of the things, like literally today, I was talking about, and if you're not comfortable, we can just cut this out, but talking about pricing on events, it's like this. I keep doing this literally today. I was like, I love running events because there's revenue, but then the costs are going up almost at the same pace.
It's endless.
So I'm trying to figure out how you create events that are like great events that people want to go to, that has all the things and does all the bells and whistles, but is still in a category of, yes, I'm willing to pay for something like that. So just wondering how you balance that or like manage that kind of thing with what you're wanting to do versus what you can do and what people are willing to pay and all that kind of stuff.
This is why we're calling this year Minimum Viable Festival, is because the vision can expand very quickly. There is no shortage of ideas and things that we can do and possibility and opportunities. But at the end of the day, we really think about not changing more than 20% every year, because every incremental change also has an incremental cost.
Right.
new challenges, new problems.
Yeah.
50% change is probably 100% more problems, really. And so you want to grow events in a way that is, in a way that's sustainable, and honors the capacity of the team and the budget and things like that, so that you can really start growing into things. So there's a lot of management that goes into idea. We have drop dead dates for when there's like no new ideas.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Now passed.
That's a really good idea.
like everything. When I went to Cannes, I came back and it was all on my 2026 plan. Like there was,
Right.
it's whiplash to the team if you
Yeah.
come in, there's too much to shift, right? So lots of great inspo from there, but something that I'm thinking about 2026. Back to your thought about pricing, and I think it's so interesting with events, and it's always been a challenge in events. Like I've been doing events for 20 years, and just the nature of people and how they buy is last minute. Like everyone is, well, I'll see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Where will I be in October? And I think that the post-COVID world is like people are even have a shorter term commitment span. They're like, I'm not sure where I'm going to be in 3 months, let alone where I'm going to be next year. So we reward those that purchase early, and we do that with a pricing strategy that offers, we have event only pricing. That's the best rate that you could possibly get all year. It is even below, it's not profitable for us, but it's, it's important to give people that opportunity. And it also helps us build that baseline.
Right.
So the event only pricing, and then we go into early bird pricing, and then we have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and then last minute. And so every pricing tier is about $200 or $250 more expensive. So it costs you money to procrastinate. It costs you money to miss the deadline. And we find that that's really helpful for our planning. And it also really helps us with those drop dead dates on decisions. Can we do this or can we not do it? And if we've met target, everything is according to plan, we continue. And other than that, it's, there have to be decisions that are made. But those sort of gateposts, we call them sprints, really help our team all year work towards almost like it's a year within every sprint. And we've got rocks to hit, and we work really hard on that. So I think people would be surprised that we spend the whole year. We've got 13 full-time people working on the gathering, and on site over 150 contractors, volunteers, vendors, putting it all together. It's like producing a Broadway show that's it's the orchestra.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
it's amazing what you folks are able to do. And good call on having a bit of a deadline and waiting for your ideas to happen next year if they've missed the deadline, because it's easy to be like, I've got this great idea, and then everybody sees the shiny object and want to put it in there. Can we talk a bit about the attendees a little bit? A lot of the reason to go, aside from, finding inspiration and so on and so forth, is the networking component of the whole event, right? So I'd love to, we talked about this off air about, some of the tips for your attendees in terms of networking. Could you share some of that with us?
Yeah. I mean, I think that the connections at the gathering, this is our secret sauce. Like, and my experience from coming over the years before stepping into this actual role, genuine connections happen at the gathering. And I think that this is where, doors open and seeds get planted, and those that really come with a mission and a plan and are present and really engage are the ones that, we get to see like amazing collaborations or things that happen. And, there's been some really cool case studies and stories from that. As far as tips, this goes for any event or festival or conference that you go to, whatever you want to call it. I think how to festival or how to get the most out of your experience comes down to a few things. One, I suggest that you stand out, like you dress to be remembered. And this doesn't mean that you need to like get super dressed up, but how you present yourself allows someone to remember you. If you're just wearing all black and they've met 50 other people that are wearing all black that day, you're not going to be super memorable. But if you're the guy with, the bomber jacket, the red bomber jacket, or the pink blazer, or the suit, or whatever it is, or the cool glasses, it's something that allows people to remember you, and people are meeting hundreds of people in the day. So, stand out, dress to be remembered. This is your vibe. It's your first impressions. Maybe you've got a signature look. I say lean into that. The second thing is bring a takeaway. So no business cards. I think we're all beyond business cards at this point anyways. We like put our phones next to each other and they set it all up. But have something on you that's unique, a pin, a small gift, a book, a tool, something that's unique to you. And maybe it's not something you give absolutely everyone, but if you've had a really important connection with someone, it's something that they're going to reach into their pocket later and they're going to be like, oh yeah.
I should get my daughters to make some friendship bracelets.
Make some get the Taylor Swift friendship bracelets out. I love
exactly.
it. I used to do these little pins, they say F yes. I won't say the word. But I used to have pins. And when I was going to the gathering, I'd have a pocket full of pins, and I feel like it built my personal brand. I got remembered as like the F yes girl. There are worse things to be remembered as, I guess. The third thing is have a mission for the day. So there's many things happening at once. You cannot possibly do everything. You will run yourself ragged. And if you come with the intention of, hey, I want to, do business development opportunities, and I want to learn, and I also want to, come up with a new business strategy or whatever, you got to get clear on what your one mission is and maybe choose one. So, it's business development, or it's new connections, or it's new relationships, or something like that. Pick a mission for the event in general, and then one goal per day. So it's kind of the do less mentality, do less, but go deeper.
Yeah.
And then that allows you to leave some room for magic, So if your goal was, hey, I want to make 3 connections every day, and you do that before lunch, amazing, great. Let your hair down. So that's great. And then invest in recovery. So take some downtime. We have wellness experiences incorporated into the gathering as well. Networking is exhausting, being on, presenting yourself to brand new people, all that. Like there's some of us are introverted and some of us are extroverted. Personally, I need a little bit of alone time every day. So get out. Don't be shy on going on a mountain walk by yourself, or, the Fairmont has amazing sauna, pool, hot springs, all of that. Take that time too, because coming to events like this is an opportunity to get off the machine. It's to get out of the day. And we want you to feel like you've filled yourself up and really go back to your life, your business, your leadership, rejuvenated. So make sure you're finding some space for that. And then the last thing is the magic happens in the fringe. So some of the best conversations, some of the best relationships happen outside of the official sessions, the night gatherings, the after parties, the night events, in the Rundle Lounge, in the hallways. So stay open for those, and don't worry about packing your whole schedule full of back-to-back content sessions. Keep your eyes up, put your phone away, be present, and just see what happens.
Oh, good tips, especially the part about getting out for a walk. Even like that's like you sometimes forget that you're in Banff when you're at something like this. You're like, oh my God.
Nice. Yeah, it's so nice. And the beautiful thing is too, even if you're not staying at the Fairmont, like there's so many great hotels downtown, and everything is about 15-minute walk from the Fairmont. So, in the morning or after sessions, even that walk back to your hotel is just a nice little refresh. Mountain air.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And I think for attire, I'm going to show up in a bunny suit.
Amazing. I love
I actually
this.
have an inflatable T-Rex suit that you can
Oh,
borrow
really?
if you want. Yeah.
Perfect. What are the football teams that are going to be there? Maybe they'll hire me on as a mascot or something like that.
I'll facilitate an intro. We'll see.
Oh, don't challenge me. I'll take that intro. Trust me.
I love
Hey, let me talk to your coach real quick. Um,
it.
Mandy, we were talking about just who should attend. So like we've given some good tips for people for attending. And I think that's good for anybody in any networking position. But who should attend? Like, how do you market the event? And like, how are you thinking about segmenting the market and targeting or not targeting, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, brand is the connector for everyone. So if you are interested in building and growing your brand, you should be at the gathering. There's so much to learn. And we welcome CMOs, CEOs, lots of people in leadership, entrepreneurs, creators, emerging business leaders. We have a great student program every year. There's a really diverse community, and there's lots to learn from everybody. So, if you want to learn what it takes to build a brand to last, to win in today's environment, you should be at the gathering. So there's lots there. I've had tons of people that even, they're like, I didn't really know what I was coming, or I came as a peer or, a spouse or whatever. And I've just heard amazing stories, that they just felt inspired and connected as well. And, I think it's so important that we take the time to immerse ourselves in rooms like this and from each other. And, it's a really great experience. Lots to learn.
I think I mentioned to you last year, I was in one of the hallways somewhere and I overheard a couple guys talking that I think one was a CFO even. And they were just like, had no idea what branding was about. I just am interested in it. So I decided to come and they were both talking about how inspired they were. So it's pretty cool.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Yeah. You talk about the connections. I remember when we talked earlier, you talked about some of the connections that were made that were, that could be like almost like oil and water, but it actually worked out. So like the NFL,
Yes.
yeah, and Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of those stories of those connections that were made?
We really pride ourselves on being the connector. Like, we put the right people in the room and make the introductions. And this is really, the seeds get planted at the gathering, and then, amazing things happen. Big Brothers and Big Sisters is one of those stories. And we introduced them to the NFL at the gathering, I think in 2021. And the NFL is now the biggest contributor to Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and the things that they've done together are just incredible. We had them back the following year to share on stage. Like they shared their whole story and how that came to be, and that was incredible. Similarly, we introduced the NHL to GoPro. Yeah, we paired them beside each other at the gala dinner, and the next thing you know, a couple months later during playoffs, there were GoPros on players' helmets. So, one idea and a relationship can cut years of red tape and nose, and can get right to like, yes, I like you. I like what you do. Let's do something together. And so the impact of those relationships can just be incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is great. This is such an awesome conversation. Loved learning about all the event behind the scenes stuff, the magic happening behind the curtain. Because when you're at the event, you just see the magic, and it's well done, but you don't see all the things, the crazy stuff that goes on behind. So thanks for sharing that insight.
Yeah, it's magic. Our team works so hard to think about the moments between moments, and the guest experience, and to really create a space for connection and belonging. A lot of attention has to happen behind the scenes, and you got to think like someone's coming alone, and so how do you make them feel comfortable? How do you help facilitate without being too in your face? So the environment is important, and anyone that's really wanting to build community too, you have to put that lens on, so that you can create opportunities for people to really open up and, let their guard down and connect. And, we have little conversation cards on the table and things like that. So if you're ever out of something to say and you're like sick of asking, what do you do for work? You can pick one of those up and have a little conversation going too. So
yeah. This is just straight up great customer service. It's not even event management at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Mandy, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and talking about the gathering. We're going to be promoting the gathering a few times before the event happens with the Calgary Marketing Association. But yeah, really exciting stuff. And I'm glad it's still going on. I think, what is this, the 11th year now?
12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's impressive.
We're grateful for the opportunity to chat with you guys today. I can't wait to see you IRL in less than just about 2 months as we're recording this. So the road to the gathering is coming up quick, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it'll be really fun. It'll be great to see you there too.